headlines of VTV News. Vietnam suggests climate change cooperation orientations for G77. And Vietnam honored as world's leading heritage destination.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello there, this is VTV News coming live to you from Hanoi. I'm Lina Pham with the latest news update. Prime Minister Ming attended the Group of 77 or G77 summit on climate change in Dubai on Saturday local time as part of the 28th conference of the parties COP28 to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The event was attended by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and leaders and representatives of 134 member states of the G77 and international organizations.
At the event, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres stressed the role of developing countries in promoting a multilateral process for climate targets and calling for climate justice. He urged developed nations to quickly increase assistance for the countries of the Global South and, especially, deliver on their climate finance commitments. Addressing the summit, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh emphasized the importance of effective climate change response to the world and Vietnam and proposed 3 cooperation orientations for G77. First, it is necessary to promote a global and all-people-based approach and uphold multilateralism with the motto of common but differentiated responsibilities, justice, and reasonableness with the socio-economic development demands of developing countries taken into account. Second, science, technology, and innovation should be turned into the key cooperation area of the G77 based on establishing an inclusive cooperation mechanism and capitalizing on the strengths of both developed and developing countries. Third, preferential climate finance should be promoted to make it more accessible, not increase the debt burden, and not at the expense of resources for realizing other development goals.
The fight against climate change cannot be a single country's effort but requires a change in awareness, thinking, and ways of doing things, especially policy development and decision-making. Vietnam reaffirms its commitment and determination to achieve net zero emissions by 2050 in that common effort. That commitment has been concretized through decisive actions, including strategies and tasks for green growth, circular economy and sustainable development, regulation building and human resource training, and smart management.
Prime Minister Ming had separate meetings with Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel and Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson in Dubai on Saturday on the sidelines of the World Climate Action Summit at the 28th UN Climate Change Conference COP28.
Meeting the Cuban leader on the sidelines of COP28, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh reiterated Vietnam's consistent policy of supporting the just revolutionary cause of the Cuban people and opposing unilateral embargo measures against the Caribbean state. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel, for his part, thanked Vietnam for its valuable support and assistance to Cuba, helping the Caribbean state overcome socio-economic development difficulties due to Western sanctions. Both sides were delighted at the extensive development of the special traditional friendship and comprehensive cooperation between Vietnam and Cuba over the years. They agreed to coordinate more closely to promote economic, investment trade, and agriculture cooperation. The two sides agreed to strengthen the coordination of stances and exchanges at multilateral forums.
At the meeting with his Swedish counterpart, Ulf Kristersson, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh stated that Vietnam always attaches importance to and wishes to enhance its traditional friendship with Sweden. He proposed both sides step up mutual visits at all levels to bolster partnerships across the board, especially in the economy, trade, investment, digital transformation, green transition, circular economy, education and training, and tourist visa extension. The Swedish Prime Minister hoped to visit Vietnam shortly to promote cooperation comprehensively. He also affirmed that Sweden will make efforts to enhance substantive ties in all potential fields, asking relevant agencies of both countries to consider the opening of direct air routes between Vietnam and Scandinavian countries, especially Sweden, to foster tourism and people-to-people exchanges. The two sides also agreed to further strengthen cooperation at multilateral forums and serve as bridges for the ASEAN-EU cooperation.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính met with UAE Vice President Sheikh Mazou bin Zayed Al Nahyan on Saturday during his trip to Dubai to attend the 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference COP28. He proposed that the UAE increase investment and assist Vietnam in building and operating the International Financial Center in Ho Chi Minh City and the National Innovation Center in Hanoi, as well as in establishing smart cities, implementing renewable energy projects and developing the halal industry. For his part, the UAE Vice President highly appreciated Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính attendance at COP28. He affirmed that UAE businesses are interested in Vietnam's major economic fields, such as renewable energy, digital transformation, infrastructure, logistics, seaports, and data centers. Continuing his trip, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính later met with the President of the World Bank Group, Ajay Banga, and the President of the World Economic Forum, WEF, Borge Brenda.
During a meeting with the President of the World Bank Group, Ajay Banga, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh spoke highly of the bank's support for and cooperation with Vietnam. To improve the efficiency of bilateral cooperation, he proposed both sides effectively implement existing projects and, at the same time, promote large-scale strategic projects. The World Bank Group president particularly applauded Vietnam's efforts and determination in green transition, climate change response, and sustainable development, especially the low-emission cultivation of 1 million hectares of high-yield rice. He also noted that the World Bank considers Vietnam an important partner and will continue supporting Vietnam in meeting its development goals.
Meeting with President of the World Economic Forum, WEF, Borge Brend, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh hailed WEF for supporting Vietnam in the past. The WEF president congratulated Vietnam on its positive economic achievements amid the global economic slowdown. He said the WEF has coordinated with Ho Chi Minh City to prepare for the 4th Industrial Revolution Center construction there. The Prime Minister asked the WEF to continue implementing projects in the Memorandum of Understanding between the two sides and hoped that the WEF would coordinate with Vietnam to host activities that bring together leading experts and policymakers internationally and in the region. The same day, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh met with the group chief executive at HSBC Noel Quinn and leading energy groups. The Prime Minister also witnessed the handover of cooperation memoranda of understanding between Vietnam and the UAE in many fields.
During his working trip to the Middle East, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính met with the Vietnamese community in the UAE. He affirmed that the parties and state always attach importance to consolidating and promoting the Great National Unity Bloc, supporting overseas Vietnamese to stabilize and integrate into the host country, and encouraging and creating favorable conditions to actively contribute to building and protecting the country. The Prime Minister requested the Vietnamese embassy in the UAE to do their best to support the Vietnamese community here to stabilize their lives, promote the spirit of solidarity, and connect with the other Vietnamese communities in the Gulf. Now continuing with other news, the 13th National Congress of the Vietnam General Confederation of Labor closes on Sunday after 3 days of working. The Congress showed its strong resolve to renovate the Vietnam Trade Union Organization and its activities. build a comprehensively strong Vietnam trade union with a primary focus on meeting the requirements of the new context, protecting the legal and legitimate rights and interests of union members and workers, and actively engaging in state management and socio-economic management. The Congress asks grassroots-level trade unions to formulate a plan of actions to materialize the Congress resolution in order to make a breakthrough in the workers' movement and Vietnam trade union activities. Now, the total number of employed people across Vietnam reached nearly 52 million at the beginning of this fourth quarter, increasing by 87,000 compared to the second quarter. This is the information reported by the Ministry of Labor, War Invalids and Social Affairs. However, the labor market bounced back when provinces with numerous industrial zones such as Bình Dương, Đồng Nai and Ho Chi Minh City saw an upsurge in recruitment demand from local businesses.
After over 2 months without a job, this man decided to find a new career instead of relying on 6 months of unemployment benefits.
I want an administrative job with a steady salary. Having a stable job is more secure than receiving unemployment insurance because unemployment insurance will sooner or later run out.
From the end of the third quarter of this year, businesses in Bình Dương began to restore operations to meet orders delivered in the first quarter of 2024. 70% of recruitment requirements are for unskilled workers. However, it's not easy for enterprises to employ new workers. In early 2024, this manufacturer intends to expand its production scale in Long An province, but a lack of human resources may threaten its plan.
In the first quarter of 2024, our company will recruit about 300 unskilled workers and 50 people for specialized positions. However, the main difficulty lies in recruiting unskilled workers.
The supply and demand in the labor markets at the end of 2023 and early 2024 serve as a foundation for functional agencies to establish incentives for workers and employers.
Based on the practical needs of industries and laborers, the city will devise policies to effectively help businesses and industries with vocational training and facilitate access to decent jobs for the unemployed.
Due to the trend of relocating laborers from a few central areas to regional areas, a national database of workers is needed to strengthen the connection between job seekers and employers.
The World Travel Awards has named Vietnam the world's leading heritage destination 2023, a title it has won 4 times already, said the Vietnam National Authority of Tourism, or VNAT. The award will continue to cement Vietnam's potential and attractiveness in terms of natural resources and long-standing cultural heritage values. Several destinations in Vietnam were also granted various awards this year. Hanoi won the world's leading city break destination title, while Phu Quoc was named the world's leading nature island destination. Mộc Châu was listed as the world's leading regional nature destination, Hà Nam Province as the world's leading regional cultural destination, and Tam Dao as the world's leading town destination. And up next, let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. If you would like to rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go. See you again at 3 p.m. local time. Goodbye for now.